Hello friends. Today our lesson is going to be about number rods. And you're probably wondering, how am I going to do a lesson with number rods when I don't even have number rods at my house? I don't have them, and I bet you don't have them at your house either. But I got out some Duplo blocks. I bet you have some of these blocks at your house. If you don't have them, that's fine. You can just watch the lesson, or you could use Legos. Or you could use paper towel rolls and color them and cut them. You could cut paper, but all of your pieces would need to be this size. They all have to be the same size. About that big would be just fine. So you could use those. But seeing as I don't have any number rods, I'm going to use Duplos, and I chose red and blue so it would look like the number rods. And you can choose any two colors that you have a lot of. So maybe you have yellow and green or whatever colors, but just choose two colors so that you can make a pattern of each one. So I'm going to start by making the longest rod. Do you remember that one? That one is really long. We carry it like this in our classroom, so we're really careful and we don't bang into things. But we're going to start, and I'm also going to show you and send you this wonderful little chart that shows you the number rods and the red rods. You remember these were on our shelf in our classroom, and we would have the longest rod all the way to the shortest rod. And we would line them up just like that in our classroom. Well, we're going to make them here. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to do some. And then if you want to do some or you want to do all of them, you can. We're only today going to work with the number rods, but you could also do the red rods if you wanted to. So let me show you how I'm going to do it. I have to remember that the longest rod, I have to count to 10 to get to that one. And when we have our rods, we don't even have to build them at our school. We've already got them already together. But today, because I don't have them together already, I'm going to make one. So will you watch, and then we'll do the counting together. Remember that they have to be all the same size. So I use these two to make one that's the same size as the blue. And remember, I'm doing every other color. So I started with blue, then red, then blue, and then red. Let me check my work and make sure they're all the same size, and they are. Let me count and see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I need one more to make 10. And now I've made the longest rod. And you can do that when you make your rod. You can put your hand right on the top like this and go all the way down and say, that's the longest one. Now I'll make the next one that is not as long as 10. That's not right. I need to remember to do every other color. And if you forget, you can look up because these stay the same. So I did red and blue and red and blue, red and blue, red and blue, and red. Now let me count and make sure that I really do have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Great. Now I'm going to do the next one. We did 10, the longest rod. Then we did 9, which is just one less than 10. And now we're going to do the next one. We did 10 and 9, and next we're going to do 8. Now I've got it. Did you see sometimes I was thinking about putting the same color next to the other one, but you got to switch colors. Red, then blue, then red, then blue. All right, help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great. I'm going to keep going. Okay, that looks right. I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got it right. Let me do another one. Okay, let me do some counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I wonder if you can build these at your house with your Legos, or maybe you could, like I said, you could make them out of paper. But now I've made all these rods that these Legos that look like rods. And I'm going to put them all together to see what they look like. I did not finish. So when you do it, you can finish. I did 10, 9, 8, 7, and 6. But you could do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 also. So let's push them up and see what they look like. It's going to be a little tricky to push them all together. But then we can really see what they look like and how 10 looks a little bit different than 9. Here we go, I got it all lined up. Looks pretty good. I'm going to keep going. Just pushing my rods together, just like we would do if we had our long rods. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to keep going. Okay, I did it. and I made 10, 9, 8, 7, and 6. And now I'm going to check my work just like we used to do and see if this fits to complete the rod. Let's see. Oh yes, it's just perfect. Let me try this one. You might remember when we used the smallest rod to check our work. And it works all the way, so that way I know that I did the counting just right. Now here's another thing you can do if you have the time and you want to. You can also build to see what 10 looks like building straight up. So let's do that. We're going to start with this one, right on the end, and we're going to build all the way up. There's my first one. Let's see how I should do this. Oops, I should do it like this. There we go. Just like that. I'm going to actually turn this way so I can build just like that. There we go. I made my tallest and longest rod. Let's see what it looks like when I put 9 next to it, because this one is 10. Let's see what 9 looks like next to it. Okay. So we made 10, and then we made 9. Let's put 8 next to it, see how it do. Okay, I did it. I did 10. Can you say 10? I did 9. Can you say 9? And I did 8. There's 8. And you can see how they look just a little bit different, don't they? So then you would point and show me which one is 10. And then you would point and show me which one is 9. And then you would point and show me which one is 8. And those are the number rods doing something very different. I thought you'd like that. And you can keep going and going and make the rest if you want to. So I'm just going to use the ones that I have left. But you can make them all the way to from 10 to 1 if you wanted to. And you could use different colored Duplo blocks. You don't have to use just red and blue. Once you know how to do it, it would be really super cool to make it any way you want to, as long as you're just making them as long as the numbers. So one that's as long as 10, and one that's as long as 9, one that's as long as 8 and one that's as tall as 7. And we're going to keep going. Oops. And it does look a lot like a set of stairs. I've heard you say that before. Miss Lisa, that looks just like stairs. And it does. 10. Ooh. And that can happen, so you got to be careful. Got to push them in good. 10, 9, 8, 7, and 6. So a different way to do number rods. I'm going to take them out and just line them up and see what they look like this. Lots of things that you can do with these so that you can really see what they look like when they get a little bit smaller by just one. There you go. I think it'd be really fun to do them all the way to 1. And that's your lesson today on number rods. You can do it too. And if you do, I'd love to see a picture of it.